You ever get that feeling you forgot something, right? You're one of those people that get driving down the road and you're checking your pockets for your wallet or your money clip or your money. You know, I remember my shoes or swim trunks. Well, this right here is a Canadian passport. For you Americans, it looks a lot like your American passport. If you want to get on an airplane, it's very important that you have that with you. So, for instance, say you were living in Ohio, and you had to travel to Ontario via, let's say, Pittsburgh. And you get to the airport, and you don't have this, you can't travel. Now, I have a Nexus card that would let me travel, but it too was tucked nicely into my Canadian passport. So the worst feeling ever, right? And I'm sure there's worse feelings, but it is a bad enough feeling, is when you realize you actually have forgot something. Not your swim trunks, not your money clip, but the only thing that will get you on an airplane. I was offered an upgrade for almost nothing today. I had a first class seat. A first class seat from Pittsburgh International Airport to Ontario via Detroit. In Detroit, I had planned to get off the plane, somewhat sprint to the Italian restaurant. I know exactly where it is in the airport. Sit down, have a nice supper, maybe a drink. Instead, I had to put Tim on the spot. You guys saw my last video. We were pulling into the airport. And at that point, when I hit stop, I had that eerie feeling I forgot something. What could I forget? I had no carry-on. I had nothing with me. Hunter Myers took my suit back to Northfield Park, where I just happen to be right now. Tim had my muddy suit from today. I had nothing. What could I possibly forget? Here's my money clip. Here's my cards. Oh dear, where's my passport? Oh, there was not a mad scramble checking my pockets. I knew the instant the thought came into my head. I knew exactly where my passport was, sitting in the console. And I'll tell you how mad I was. I was angry with myself because I had these earbuds that I like to travel with, listen to music or watch a show or a movie. I was mad because I left them in my console, right on top of my passport. So as we begin to pull up to the terminal, it's a pretty awkward situation. Tim had just driven me 25 minutes to the airport. Oh, it's another hour and 20 plus to Northfield Park. I don't know if he has somewhere to be tonight. Does he have bingo? Maybe he's going to the movies at Parker. I have no idea what he's doing. But I'm about to have to ask him to drive me to Northfield Park so I can pick up my car and drive all the way back home. That's exactly what he did. I would like to say it was completely out of the goodness of his heart, but I kind of put him on the spot. But Tim would have. I mean, Tim's a great guy. I'm an idiot. So instead of my drink in an Italian restaurant in Detroit, by the way, I just got notified my plane just landed. Instead, I have Starbucks and a 4.5 hour drive ahead of me because I'm an idiot. So, I guess I can report that I watched Tactical Mounds race, finished third in a 5-horse field, but good fillies. I believe they come 26 in a piece on the end of it. A big mile from her and a good step forward. I don't have her staking, well, it's on my phone. I don't have her staking in front of me, but I know that her next stake is, I believe, in Ontario. So we just got to look at the timeline there and figure out what we're doing. I know does Megan want to come north to drive her? Is Scott going to be here for the Miss Versatility? I assume so. Otherwise, I'm sure she can come here to Harry or Dominic and James can race her. I have no idea. Whatever everybody decides, I'm sure is fine. The filly's pretty easy to get along with. Megan's done a great job with her. She was very nervous last year, but pretty chill. When we got her ready, everything was paint by numbers. Just put her in the bike and away you go. You're going to go a mile and 58 in the qualifier. Well, you want to go 56. That's fine too. I'm fine either way. Never broke a sweat. Never gets upset. Just pretty smart filly. So whatever everybody decides is best. I'm perfectly happy to sign off on. We have a lot of horses racing. Tim and I, after the video tonight, got to discuss a lot of things, actually. Boy, watch a Kentucky Derby. That was exciting, right? I told you guys in a video yesterday that just one of those things that I think even I, as a horse person, but not a thoroughbred, but a standardbred horse person, just take for granted, right? The spectacle it is, the Kentucky Derby. I've never taken it in. I've watched it. I don't think I've ever missed one. But I've never actually been in Louisville myself and gone to the Kentucky Derby. And what a race that was today. 3-horse photo. They let the suspense build also. It's almost like they were up there shaking a Polaroid. You know who won the race 0.5 of a second after they crossed the wire. You have the video footage. There you have the photo there. Anyway, it was cool though. The 2-horse won it, I believe. Great race. Anyway, Tim and I got to talk about the horses in depth a little bit more. I know I was kind of vague when we were talking about Time Is On My Side. There was a real discussion as to whether we should even bother putting him on Lasix. And it wasn't that he needed to be on it now. I'm sure we could dry him up. I'm sure we could race him next week. And there might even be a chance that he didn't show any blood next week. But my thought process was simple. We're 6-7 starts into a 20-start season, probably. He's showing a little bit of blood now. It wasn't a super hot day. How's he going to be? How would I feel if we got to the final, if we got to race him in the Adios? He was good enough, and he gets in, and he draws good, and he finishes an abysmal 5th or 6th. He was good horses, though. And we scope him, and he bled 2 out of 5. How angry would I be then? I'm just trying to be a little proactive. If it was there today, why wouldn't it be there in a month? Now, the one thing I can tell you is that the more I think I know about bleeders and bleeding, the less I actually know. We've had some horses that were bad bleeders, and I know this for a fact that looks like Money was a terrible bleeder at 3, and no problem. Now he's on Lasix, but never ever shown any sort of signs of distress or blood or anything like that. So you never know, right? Young horses heal up really good too, and you never know. But at the same token, I just wasn't going to take anything for granted. We have an opportunity to at least likely ensure he doesn't bleed again. Why wouldn't we take that? So that's really what it came down to. The blood today was really inconsequential. It wasn't a big deal. Did it cost him the win? Maybe. It might have. But he raced great. He raced fantastic. And hanging on the right line in the turns, I just think minor maintenance with him. And I really think that this horse could be sitting on a big mile next week. And my brother Mark is going to drive him. I'm very excited to see the colt race, but I am really excited to see my son play baseball next week. And if at all, I'm going to avoid Friday also if I can, but I don't think I can. He's got a tournament to kick off the season in Guelph on Friday, Saturday, Sunday of next week, and I will be there. I don't know if I can make Friday. I do have some responsibilities. If it's a night game, I might be able to make the last little bit of it. But I'm definitely going to see Saturday and Sunday's game. So my brother Mark is going to drive. Time Is On My Side in Arson. Now, I had a great conversation with Scotty over the last few days, and for Scott, for us to send Pickpocket to New Jersey right now with Megan would mean that Scott would have to commit, and that's a tricky relationship we have, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It's a minor hiccup, but I don't want to put Scott in a bad spot. I don't want to put Megan in a bad spot. So when it comes right down to it, if Pickpocket had went out and win in 53 yesterday or 54, Scott would say, yeah, I got some nice horses, but I'll commit to Pickpocket. But when he goes out and finishes a kind of an ordinary pedestrian looking fourth his first start of the season. He just couldn't commit, right? He couldn't commit to that, and I don't blame him. So I'm kind of left trying to figure what we're going to do. I'm of the belief he should go to New Jersey next week. Does that mean that Tim's guys take him down? Does that mean that I send him to somebody down there? Because we already know where he goes. We already have all of his equipment. The only unknown that anytime I send a horse anywhere is the bike. When we have trotting hobbles on a horse, is it the exact same bike? Is it a little bit different? Because that changes the hobbles, right? We have Pickpocket has his own bike. His own bike. Bought it for him. Now, I said out loud, I did not bill it out to the Pickpocket owners. But, whatever. We'll use it on somebody sometime. But we did buy it for Pickpocket. We know where the hobbles go. We know who he is. He isn't perfect. There's going to be some minor changes as the year goes on. But I do believe getting him the Meadowlands and getting him stretched out of it. Do I believe he's going to be there, go there and scare Carl? No. But as one of my partners, Randy, put it, there's other divisions. You may miss Carl, first off. Trotters do make breaks. I guess that goes both ways. Secondly, and thirdly, who knows what he'll do when he gets to the Meadowlands, right? I just don't think, I don't see enough of a reason not to bring him to the Meadowlands. Unless we're saying, hey, after one start, after one race, we are sure he's not good enough, which I think is a kind of an asinine statement. I mean, at the very least, it's uninformed, and at the most, it's grossly pessimistic. He raced against age trotters and was fourth, beat a length and a half, trotted 55.28 in the end of it, last half 56. Was that something that screams Hamiltonian? No. A very good horse. 100%. So we have some questions with Pickpocket. We'll figure that out over the weekend. The answer today for Arson and Time Is On My Side, both colts. And this is the difference. One of our clients, Dennis, had sent me a message, and I'd already said it to Tim. I said, that is the difference between having a race before the stake and not. You can go out and train him as fast as you want. Tim trained that horse Monday in 53-4. He was plenty tight. And he raced good. But the difference between having a race or two into you and not is that right there. Now, if I get away in the 2-hole instead of the 3-hole behind Hunter and I don't have to be first over, you know, and I'm asking myself after the race, maybe I should have just stayed in. And as soon as I'm thinking in my head, Hunter goes, "Do you see that thing in the last turn? Did you hear me?" I said, "No." Stuck its toes in. He said, "I just get clear of everybody." Oh, that's cool. You'd have done that in front of me, that would have been picking dew worms out of my arse in the center field. But a great race from Time Is On My Side, a great race from a fantastic race from Time Is On My Side, and a great race from Arson. I think both those colts are going to have a very good summer. You know, what happens if Arson goes out and finishes 5th today and paces 53-3? Like, decent mile. Maybe he's just not a sire stake horse. What happens if Time Is On My Side goes out and gets trounced? Both those colts raced great and show that they belong. Now, there's more questions, right? We did pay them into the jug and the adios. There's still a few more steps before we get to that discussion. But both looked very, very good today. Very good today. And Tactical Mounts looked good tonight also. So we have had a very good week at the office. We didn't stack together a bunch of wins, but we had a lot of horses that looked like they're ready to. Gypsy Hill, Irresistible Sun, to name 2 for sure. Sweeney, there's 3. Those horses didn't get in Wednesday, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I almost said to Jason, well, I guess we could race Sweeney at the Meadows. We didn't want to ship him to Scioto. Why would we go to the Meadows? I think we'll just chalk it up to an easy week and race him the following Wednesday. Prince Charmer, I said, what about him? He goes, he fits a maiden. We put a tag on him. He fits him in the maiden. Don't take him to the Meadows. You're right. We won't. Those horses race good. The more I think and talk about insider trading, I believe that maybe we are inching in the right direction. I think I was caught being pessimistic the other day. Looks like Money raced pretty good. JK Victory was a winner, 50-1, last quarter 26-1. Fantastic mile from him. Great job. Memory and imagination. We talked about pickpocket. Memory and imagination sharp as a tack. And as I was talking to Randy, he said, well, I imagine we'll just see him in 13 days in Plainridge. I said, no. I don't want to bring that horse in kind of ready to go off a win in the nominals of 2, but not more than 4. No. I want to race him next Thursday. And then the following week, I want him nice and tight as we head into that stake race, right? Bunker Hill. Then he goes to the Sire Stakes, Arden, I believe. After that, he sticks around here right till June when he goes to Kentucky. I think that's the best plan for him. So we start to see the storylines start to brighten up a little bit, right? We know roughly where we're going. I believe Pickpocket should be in New Jersey, where he goes. Mark will likely drive him next week at the Meadowlands. Where do we send him? Don't know yet. I have some ideas. I'll think about it. Time is on my side, and Arson look great. They are definitely going to Poconos next week for the second Sire Stakes. So good luck to all my partners with them. Gypsy Hill and Irresistible Sun are heading to Scioto Downs for the Nominers of 2 stake that they have coming up. Should be a lot of fun. Next Thursday, I have to start my day by racing in the Meadows. That too should be fun. Friday's a big question mark. If there's any way I can get out of Friday's racing, I'm going to. And I'm going to head to Ontario with my family. I want to watch Ollie play baseball. Saturday's Poconos Thursday for sure is Memory and Imagination if he gets in. Saturday's Poconos with the Colts. So lots of racing coming up, lots going on. I'm not in a hurry to do anything. I have another 3 hours and 54 minutes ahead of me to drive. I'm not actually going to get home much later than I would have had I taken the flight, but it would have been a lot more comfortable, I can tell you that. So, I am a scatterbrain, and I do make stupid mistakes sometimes. That's just my nature, right? It's the first time I ever misplaced, left, or lost my passport. I have lost everything I've ever had. Thankfully not my wife, and now I found my passport. Man, what a idiot. Anyway, in the bigger scheme of things, who cares? I'll get my plane ticket money back, I'm sure. I'll get to Ontario tonight, tomorrow morning early, I know. And off to James's wedding tomorrow. So with that little rant, little confession, I will let you guys go for the rest of your evening. I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are. It's only 9 o'clock. Lots of night left for you. For me, I'll be here for the rest of it. Take care.